Let's move on to main topic number 3. Kaylee, what is our third main topic today?
Our third main topic comes from Trevor Whitmore. With the House of Dragon series ending on such a powerful note, a lot of us started looking forward to season 2 already, but it looks like we'll have to wait a long time. The head of HBO just said there won't be a season 2 until at least 2024. This is extremely frustrating. A lot of TV shows for years would put out 20 plus episodes a year. I know a Game of Thrones show is much bigger, but they only have like 8 to 10 episodes to do. Why are they so unprepared and unable to ensure a new season each year? John, how do you think this is going to play out with, the second season being so far from now?
I think obviously there's going to be some clear comparisons to the situation with Rings of Power, right? Rings of Power, big high fantasy show, will also not have a second season for at least a couple of years. However, and I'm like, what guys, what are you doing? What are you doing? However, I think there's two big differences with the House of Dragon scenario. All right. Difference number one is this, is that with Lord of the Rings of Power, with them spending nearly $1 billion to acquire the rights, make the show, all that kind of stuff, it didn't matter if only 7 people watched it. They were going to do a season 2. The investment was just too high. There was no way. There was literally nothing that could have happened that would have prevented them from doing a season 2, anything short of the end of the world. So nothing was going to stop them from doing a season 2. And it turns out a whole shit ton of people watched the show and all that kind of stuff. So they knew a season 2 was coming. And to me, that gives them no excuse for not having another season ready to go next year. There's just no excuse. They should have been rolling on this already. With House of the Dragon, I think it's a very, very different situation, because the reality is, hey, listen, it's easy for us now to play Monday morning quarterback and go, well, the show was super popular and everybody loved it. That's great. But don't forget, just a couple of months ago, a lot of people were asking, is anybody even going to watch this? That certain people, despite the fact that it set the record for most Emmy wins, a lot of people did not like season 8 of Game of Thrones. A lot of people said, I'm never trusting Game of Thrones again, and all that kind of stuff. So because of that, there was legitimate questions going into House of Dragon. Is anybody even going to watch this? We don't know that we can do another season of this. And unlike Rings of Power, which was a foregone conclusion they were doing another series just because of the financial investment, with House of the Dragon, that wasn't the case. So I give them a little bit of leeway on that. The second big difference is this, is that House of Dragon was awesome from start to finish. Rings of Power, look, it's all different. It's all subjective. Maybe people didn't love House of the Dragon as much as I did, whatever. Maybe people loved Rings of Power. Maybe people hate it. But to me, Rings of Power started really slow. Like, I almost ditched on the show initially. Now, for me personally, it got quite good near the end, but it was not a show that was just purely beloved from start to finish by the vast majority of people. Therefore, it's even more important for you to get back on the horse, especially once you built up a little bit of momentum near the end of the season. You got some momentum going. You don't want to lose everybody. House of the Dragon, it's a little bit different. Everybody loved it. I mean, obviously, that's hyperbole. Some people, I'm sure, didn't. But for the most part, everybody seems to have loved House of the Dragon. So you've got a little bit more flexibility there that you don't need to immediately hop on that momentum because everybody loved it. Everybody will be waiting for it. Now, I still believe there is no excuse in today's day and age when in ages past with much worse technology, shows were able to crank out 24 episodes per year and come back with another 24 episodes. There's no reason you can't, even with big budgets and visual effects and all that kind of stuff, there is no reason why you should not be able to have another 8-episode season ready to go in a year. But I give House of the Dragon a little bit more leeway because of those two big differences. So am I happy about this? No. And this comes from the folks over at the AV Club. Just to give us the more details, they said this. The head of HBO said, don't expect it in 2023. Talking about House of the Dragon Season 2. Don't expect it in 2023. But I think sometime in 2024, Blois says, he's the head of HBO, as a part of a much longer interview focused on the show's recent success as a hybrid of streaming and linear TV watching. Because remember, they have HBO and HBO Max. Among other things, Blois contends that dropping the show into the old Game of Thrones time slot made for a much stronger appointment television, he's absolutely right, vibe, even among viewers on HBO Max. Discussing return dates, the network head was vague, but insisted that he wasn't being coy, saying that we're just starting to put the plan together. And just like last time, there are so many unknowns. You don't want to say it's going to be ready on this date, and then you have to move it. And that comes from the folks at the AV Club. Rob, I agree with them. Like, the worst thing you can do is announce a release date and then disappoint everybody by not making it. But anyway, you hear his comments. No House of the Dragon season 2 till at least 2024. What's your thoughts on it? Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month. And now for the plot twist. I'm just kidding. There isn't one. Mint Mobile just has premium wireless from $15 a month. There's no trapping you into a 2-year contract or opening the bill to find all these crazy fees. There's no luring you in with free subscriptions to streaming services that you'll forget to cancel and be charged full price for. With my old wireless provider, every month when I opened the bill, it was like playing roulette. I never knew how big the bill was going to be, and it always seemed to get bigger. With Mint Mobile, it's totally different. I know exactly how little I'm paying every month, and there's never any surprises. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or a family. And at Mint Mobile, families start at just 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And guys, you get to use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. So transferring over couldn't be easier. So to get premium wireless from just $15 a month and no unexpected plot twists, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. You'll make your wallet very happy at mintmobile.com/Campea.
Well, I think what people don't understand is, like, you brought up how TV shows used to have like 26 episodes, like Star Trek The Next Generation, 26 episodes a season. But they were shooting on the Paramount lot in very controlled environments in a single place. You'd drive to work, people would park, go to makeup, and they would shoot. House of the Dragon is a show that shot in multiple countries. It's really difficult. It has a huge cast, an enormous cast of people. And they're adding a bunch more people next season. So logistically, these are huge shows to make. The visual effects, I don't even know how long that dragon, I mean, that behind the scenes showing the dragon riders shooting, that was really cool. I can't even imagine, as you know, in visual effects, how long those effects took. These shows are movie quality. So the schedules, especially in post, are a lot longer than our normal TV shows of yore were. And it takes a long time to do something like this. And they're basically giving us 10 hours. And sometimes these episodes are longer. They're closer to 90 minutes. So you're getting 10 feature films a week. I mean, 10 feature films. You're getting a feature film every week for 10 weeks. It's a lot of work, and it takes a long time to do. And I heard that they were going to start in November again in production. Same with but they might be shooting for a year. You know, I don't know. But it's a long time. And that's why it takes a long time. They can't just crank this stuff out.
And yet, other shows of similar scale have, especially with the fact, see, I would get that if we were talking about 24 episodes like we did with TV, but now we're literally talking about 1/3, right? And we're also talking about, like, when television, the logistics of television, what's great about it is the fact that for most of the time, you have 8 sets. And they're all set and ready to go.
Yep.
And they stay there. They're ready to be reused.
It's pretty much pre-lit.
So while it's true, it's kind of like you're making a mini feature film every week. It's not really like that, because a feature film means you start up, do all your pre-production, get all your sets built, get all your costumes designed, get all your well, that stuff's already done, right? So I understand it's huge quality, it's a big effort, but it's like, for a lot of these shows, it's 8 episodes, and you got a year. And you've got your sets built and your costumes designed, and you've got your casting, and you've got all that kind of stuff. With Game of Thrones, I get it for this season for House of the Dragon, because they didn't even know if they're going to be able to do a season 2 or if people would watch it. But I don't know, it's difficult for me.
I mean, I have to say too, like, it was really interesting seeing that behind the scenes, how they're using the volume. Mm-hmm. You know, the volume
very effectively.
Yeah, like going into the throne room of Storm's End, how they had the big volume screens up to show you so they didn't have to build that set. I'm like, that's That's a great use of that volume.
Better
You know?
than The Mandalorian did.
Oh man, I mean the way, yeah, because all those foreground sets in the throne room, but that's where people are learning how to I mean, Game of Thrones, of all the shows that we've seen, I think uses the volume most effectively.
I agree,
because they've really thought of how to do it. But I still think I mean, logistically, it's rough, man. It's still a tough show to make.
Anyway, Chris, you hear about this. What's your take on it?
Oh man, they just really didn't want to cast new actors with time jumps. They were like, let's just age them up proper. I mean, this is kind of the same timetable we're on for Rings of Power as well, right? And obviously, like you guys were saying, there's a lot of, different things we got to take in to factor in here for pre-production and post. I mean, there's so many visual effects and everything they have to put in here. I also keep forgetting that we only have 2 months left of 2022. Right.
Yeah.
So 2024 really isn't that far away, honestly. So I'm
Depending
giving
on when in 2024 they're talking
for sure.
about.
Yeah. So I'm giving both those shows a little bit of grace here because it is a lot of different spinning plates that they've got to figure out.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this? I think you need to give House of the Dragon a lot more leeway than you do with Game of Thrones or than you did with Rings of Power because there are a couple of big differences. Still, I'd like to see them have the foresight to be able to move this stuff forward a little bit faster. We're not asking for a new season every 3 weeks, like The Voice or whatever. But question is for you guys. How do you feel about it? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there.